Skeptical about the light at the end of the tunnel, he now stood before one, facing a blinding glow. His last memory was being in the royal bedchamber. Was he dead? If so, what caused it? Assassination? As a powerful figure, he considered the possible motives, yet he couldn't recall any wrongdoing. The pressure toward the light confirmed it wasn't a dream. Accepting the inevitable, he embraced the journey ahead with calm. "Congratulations, sir and madam. He's a healthy boy." Wait, his eyes slowly and painfully fluttered open, assaulted by an array of colors and unfamiliar shapes. It took a moment for his infant vision to adjust. He found himself in a dimly lit chamber, not a sterile hospital room. The bed beneath him was a makeshift one of straw, with flickering candlelight casting eerie shadows. His gaze landed on an unappealing man with long graying hair and glasses. It almost felt like some sort of macabre summoning ritual. Then he saw her, his unmistakable mother. She radiated kindness, with auburn hair, brown eyes, and a delicate nose. A strange instinct, an overwhelming desire to cling to her, took over him. Was this what all infants felt toward their mothers? Shifting his gaze, he spotted a man standing nearby. Tears welled in the man's eyes, a beaming smile stretching across his face. He could only assume this was his father. "Hi, little Art. I'm your daddy. Can you say Dada?" the man eagerly exclaimed. His mother and the doctor rolled their eyes. She scoffed. "Honey, he was just born." And so, the first day of his new life began. The weeks following his birth were tormenting. He lacked motor control, barely able to wave his limbs. His fingers gripped involuntarily. Bladder control was non-existent, and he felt utterly useless. His new reality was strange. His parents' quarters resembled a medieval dwelling rather than the lavish settings he once knew. At first, he assumed he had traveled back in time, but his mother soon shattered that theory. One day, his foolish father swung him around carelessly, causing his leg to scrape against a drawer. As he braced for the pain, he witnessed something extraordinary. Instead of reaching for a bandage, his mother placed her hands over the wound. A soft glow emerged, accompanied by a faint hum. The pain disappeared instantly. Healing magic? The sight left him bewildered. Often, his mother carried him on her back, secured in a baby cradle strap, as they traveled to a place called Ashbur. To him, it was a glorified outpost rather than a proper town. The dirt roads were lined with tents where merchants sold their wares. Yet, as always, his infant body betrayed him. Fatigue overtook him, forcing him into an unwanted slumber. Back home, his father attempted to impress him with magic, conjuring 3 floating boulders. While his father was proud of the display, Art found it underwhelming. In his past life, he had commanded armies and wielded power that shaped nations. Yet, despite his father's simplicity, Art admired the man. His combat prowess was remarkable. He would have been a high-ranking warrior in Art's previous world, but here, he was just his loving, protective father. Determined to regain control over his body, Art focused on developing his motor skills. After weeks of effort, he finally managed to crawl. Seizing the opportunity while his mother was distracted, he ventured into the family library. However, his escape was short-lived. His mother quickly noticed his absence. Inside, he discovered a troubling truth. While he understood the spoken language, the written words were foreign to him. Frustration welled inside him as his mother sighed. "I swear he's going to be as much of a handful as his father," she muttered. For over 2 years, Arthur dedicated himself to training, concentrating on gathering mana within his body. He understood why mana awakening typically occurred in adolescence. Natural accumulation took years, but he refused to wait. Applying his past knowledge of ki control, he accelerated the process, actively pulling mana toward his solar plexus. The effort was painstaking, like trying to gather feathers in a storm. Finally, after relentless practice, he succeeded. At the moment of his breakthrough, a sudden boom echoed around him. he felt a surge of power unlike anything before. "Wow, I feel great!" Arthur exclaimed. But his moment of triumph was short-lived. Opening his eyes, he found his mother rushing toward him, panic etched across her face. His father knelt nearby, surveying the scene. Arthur turned his gaze around and froze. A massive crater had replaced their home. The structure lay in ruins, reduced to rubble. Shock washed over him. "What the hell? Who would dare destroy the home of a king?" he muttered. Realization struck. It was him. His awakening had caused the devastation. At just 3 years old, he had already unlocked immense power. His mother weakly congratulated him, while his father, despite the destruction, celebrated his son's success. With his mana awakened, his father began teaching him about its fundamentals. Mages were classified by the color of their mana core. Upon awakening, it was black due to impurities. Over time, as mana purified, it would shift from red to orange, yellow, silver, and finally white. Lighter colors signified greater purity and strength. Arthur absorbed every lesson, balancing physical training, magic theory, and reading. But change was coming. One evening during dinner, his father proposed a new idea, finding a mentor. His mother dropped her fork, shocked by the suggestion. They debated the matter. His mother worried about his age, while his father argued that his talents needed proper guidance. Eventually, they turned to Arthur himself. "Arthur, this is about you too. How do you feel about going to a big city and having a teacher?" He hesitated. The decision would shape his future. After a moment, he cautiously responded, "Can I meet some mentors first and ask if I need tutoring?" His parents agreed, and preparations for their journey began. They set out the next day, meeting his father's former party members, the Twin Horns. Among them were Adam, a boisterous augmenter; Angela, a regal wind conjurer; Durden, a quiet, wet, formidable warrior; Jasmine, a dual dagger expert; and Helen, a charismatic archer. Arthur introduced himself with formality, amusing the group. Their journey toward Xyrus was filled with adventure, but nothing prepared them for the ambush. One night, as they set up camp, Helen's alarmed voice rang out. "Bandits! Prepare for a fight!" Chaos erupted. Arrows rained down, forcing Angela to conjure a wind barrier. Arthur's father engaged the enemy, but they were outnumbered. Amidst the battle, Arthur saw his father collapse, blood trickling from his mouth. "Dad!" His mother hesitated, torn between saving him and exposing her abilities. His father, weak but determined, whispered, "Alice, don't heal me now. If they see what you are, they'll stop at nothing to capture you." Arthur clenched his fists. He had to protect them. His small hands trembled, but he would not falter. As a bandit mage prepared a final attack, Arthur lunged, using all his mana to tackle his mother away. But his body was too small, too weak. The enemy spell was too fast. In that moment, he made a choice. If he was going to fall, he would take his enemy with him. A knife, tethered by his mana, lodged deep into the enemy mage's side. As Arthur was propelled off the cliff's edge by a water cannon, he dragged the conjurer down with him. The impact knocked the air from his lungs. Water swallowed him, pain erupting through his body. His vision blurred. Above, the battle ended. His father stood victorious, the bandit leader slain. As darkness consumed him, a bittersweet smile crossed his lips. "I always wanted to be an older brother," he said.